few days back, I actually wrote a post on why I'm not a big fan of MBA these days, and I got trolled for that. I think यार तूने IIM लखनऊ से किया है और अब बोल रहा है MBA value addition नहीं है. We set up a small chai की टपरी there called as Just Tea,
Yes.
which over a period of time became not Just Tea and so on and so forth. But I think I did that just to understand कि यहाँ पे जो सीखा है उसको बाहर अप्लाई करने से पहले we have 800 plus people in the campus, we have a ready customer base. What keeps them going is chai, because at 4 a.m. What will you get? The mess is not serving good quality tea. So when I went to raise my first round with my VCs, they told me यार सब सही है, product अच्छा है, you're a good founder, नाम मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. So can you change the name? We love the product, we love the category, we know that healthy ice creams are the future, but यार ये zero समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, negative connotation आ रहा है. Can we please change the name? I said पैसा आप रख लो, नाम मैं रख लेता हूँ.
How would your best friend introduce you in one word?
Bug. I do a lot of bug. इसमें one word answer कैसे देगा?
I'm so sorry.
At this point of time, everybody put their foot down. So I think वो जो 2-3 महीने थे ना, उसमें वो फट गई थी. Money can solve everything. आइसक्रीम तो बढ़िया बना दी थी, लेकिन फाउंडर उससे भी बढ़िया है.
Good morning, everyone. Again, thank you for being here on a Monday morning. Welcome to the inaugural session of the Founder Talk series at IIM Lucknow, Noida campus. Brought to you by IIM Lucknow Enterprise Incubation Center, which supports startups with cutting-edge resources and mentorship. A special thanks to eCell and Umang for co-creating this series with me. A bit about myself. My name is Ajay Shaukin. I currently lead the founder's office at Your Story. I hold an MBA from ISB Hyderabad and a BCom from Sri Venkateshwara College, also known as Venki. Previously, I've worked as a management consultant with Aon and Deloitte, and I was part of early teams at Better.com and Tender College of Business. Super excited to introduce our first guest, Mr. Kiran Shah, who perfectly embodies the entrepreneurial spirit through his family legacy business and now one of the fastest growing startups in health and guilt-free ice cream space. An alumnus from IIM Lucknow BGP class of 2011, post his MBA, he did a stint as a brand manager at P&G Singapore. He returned to scale his family's ice cream business and went on to launch Go Zero, India's leading guilt-free ice cream brand. Go Zero reflects a major shift in how India enjoys dessert today. And please join me in welcoming Kiran Shah to the Founder of Talk series. So we have sort of 3-4 different segues into conversation.
Yeah.
Would love to sort of hear about the journey so far, who Kiran Shah is. And I'm sure a lot of us have seen you on Shark Tank, on Barbershop, and also on your LinkedIn through your daily writing. But we would love to sort of hear about your journey from you, about your education, about experience at P&G through business, and just also meanwhile share like the most insightful memories and lessons that you sort of learned throughout the way.
How many of you guys follow me on LinkedIn? Not many. So we have more Go Zero customers than my LinkedIn followers. Because a few days back, I actually wrote a post on why I'm not a big fan of MBA these days, and I got trolled for that. I think यार तूने IIM लखनऊ से किया है और अब बोल रहे MBA value addition नहीं है. But thanks for having me here. Thank you, IIM Lucknow Noida campus, eCell and Umang. They've been after me for a while to get me here. But I think my journey has been what I would say is a very typical journey of most of the engineers till they pass out, from an MBA college. So, for example, I did my MBA from IIM Lucknow in 2011. So when I did my board examination, तो उस time पे SSC was like the state boards were very very I think dominant. Now we have, I think, ICSE, CBSE, IB, and IGCSE. Nobody even cares about SSC these days. So if you get a 90% in those days, it's very clear that you have to either become a doctor or an engineer. So those are the only two choices. So of course I said doctor तो नहीं बनेंगे यार, मतलब. So engineering की. And after 4 years of engineering, you kind of realize that boss technology is not for me. Like 70% of my batchmates, right? So who end up doing engineering, they realize engineering is not for us. So the next obvious step at that point of time was to do an MBA. So लगे हैं सब CAT देने. तो फर्स्ट ईयर में तो अटेम्प्ट जनरली क्लियर होता नहीं है, तो देन यू एंड अप वर्किंग टू गेट दैट वर्क एक्सपीरियंस. So I worked in Wipro for a couple of years in software. And then, of course, cracked CAT, joined IIM Lucknow. And I think that was probably it as far as my journey was concerned. And then I had decided that I will join the family business because the family business was there for almost 40 years before that. But then PNG happened, and it was probably the most coveted marketing role on campus at that point of time for two reasons. One, of course, because they don't put you through the typical sales grind. So from day one, you are learning brand and marketing. And second, of course, because this was an international placement. So you would be working from Singapore. You would be leading global brand. So I think this was a very lucrative opportunity for me. So I joined PNG, worked there for 3 years, and 2014 is when I came back to my family business. The plan was always there. Now at that point of time, we had only one store in South Bombay. That's where I grew up. But I think a little bit of market research told me that to scale, and this is 2014 we're talking about, this is the pre-quick commerce and pre-Swiggy Zomato era. So offline was the only way to grow, to sell rather. And we had a very famous brand at that point of time, which was Natural. So very similar to what we were doing at my family business. So the plan was to then scale to through the parlor model. So you have to set up ice cream parlors in Bombay and then of course pan India. Requires a lot of capital to set up one store. So initially we set up 3 or 4 company stores to understand what the unit economics of the model looks like, what should be the flavors, because you've been selling the same flavors at 40 years in one location. Now, if you go to other parts of Bombay, what kind of flavors are consumers wanting? How are they comparing you with the brand which has been there for a while? So all of that took me, let's say, 6 months to 12 months. And then because we did not want to raise capital, we expanded to the franchise model. So in the franchise model, the franchise brings capital to set up a store. We give them the products, the brand guidelines and selling guidelines. And then I think to cut a long story short, we scaled to 100 stores just before the pandemic. So March 2020 was when we opened our 100 store pan India. So we had scaled to Bombay, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, multiple other cities. And then of course the pandemic happened. And for 3 months of summer in 2020 as well as 21, the stores were shut. So we had to completely, stop selling offline, which is when I realized that I think the model needs to pivot a bit. While people will still go out and have ice creams or F&B,
Right.
but with the advent of Swiggy and Zomato, and then later in 2021 with quick commerce just starting in, so Grofers at that point of time was just launching, eventually pivoted to Blinkit. Instamart had started doing groceries and daily essentials, and over a period of time, they would also start selling ice creams as a category. They would. So it was time for ice cream companies to kind of pivot, and the first step was to create dark stores. So that was the first time when we did not open physical stores, but we just went ahead and opened dark stores in locations. The model was fantastic. It did not require a lot of capex. You just required a freezer, a little bit of stock, and an internet connection, and you could just start selling. And anyways, 50% of the revenue was online on Swiggy and Zomato. So it didn't make sense to put up a big, store, pay a lot of rent, and just do basic offline sales. So I think from there, the dark store model evolved. Today, for example, GoZero is 100% online first company. So we sell on Swiggy, Zomato, but of course, quick commerce ke aane ke baad, it's just taken to the next level. So I think in a nutshell, that's been my journey. But to summarize, I think the entrepreneurial bug in me has always been there. Like I've been born in a family of entrepreneurs, and I'm a Gujju by birth. So even while I was at IIM Lucknow, I think I could not resist myself from putting up something. I think Prakash sir is here.
Yeah.
So he would know that we set up a small chai ki tapri there called as Just Tea,
Yes.
which over a period of time became Not Just Tea, and so on and so forth. But I think I did that just to understand कि यहाँ पे जो सीखा है उसको बाहर अप्लाई करने से पहले We have 800 plus people in the campus. We have a ready customer base. What keeps them going is chai, because at 4 a.m. What will you get? The mess is not serving good quality tea. So वहाँ से शुरू किया. I think so the entrepreneurial bug was always there.
Right.
And today I think as a founder, as an entrepreneur, I've evolved. There has been a lot of learnings from IIM Lucknow to PNG to my family business, and now running my own startup. And as you rightly said, today we are India's #1 guilt-free ice cream brand, and in fact, we are the fastest company in ice cream to hit 100 crore ARR in 3 years.
How crazy. I think a sort of great introduction to your journey so far. Thanks for that. Two big insights for me. It's sort of really great how the cost of experimentation has gone so low previous to, like, when you were doing Apsara, you had to set up 100 franchisees to grow. Now dark stores have sort of brought down that cost phenomenally low. And another insight is that you have such amazing talent to name brands. So just the phenomenal branding, just sort of explicitly telling what do we do and then changing that, and now Go Zero. So kudos to that. And just a lot to unpackage there, but would love to sort of
So on that, I think because you touched upon the name, I think there's one interesting story there as well. So when I went to raise my first round with my VCs, they told me, यार सब सही है, product अच्छा है, you're a good founder, नाम मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. So can you change the name? We love the product, we love the category, we know that healthy ice creams are the future, but यार ये zero समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, negative connotation आ रहा है. Can we please change the name? I said, पैसा आप रख लो, नाम मैं रख लेता हूँ. But of course, the deal happened, and the validation came when few months back, the same investor wrote a LinkedIn post saying that I'm thankful that Kiran didn't listen to me. So I think today I feel the name which we have, and if you look at all the products which are now in the better for you category, आप Coke का example ले लो, they have come up with Coke Zero.
right.
You take the colas, the zero sugar is becoming very important. You take there are bread brands which are now writing zero maida, zero this, zero that. So I think today we realize that the word is so important that it's building a lot of equity and positioning yourself as the leader in this space.
All right. So we'll unpack all of those things one by one. But before we jump into the guilt-free world of Go Zero and the ice cream revolution you're creating, I would love to sort of have a fun, quick rapid fire just to do a segue into the conversation. So I'll ask quick questions.
Okay.
And Kiran, just go with the first thought that comes to your mind. Single word or a statement, anything is fine. So favorite childhood memory.
Playing cricket.
How would your best friend introduce you in one word?
Bug. I do a lot of bug. Pakao.
Who taught your most important business lesson so far, and what was it?
My dad.
And what was the lesson?
Always ensure financial discipline in business, no matter what level of sales.
What's been your biggest failure and how did you bounce back?
The biggest, I mean, it's the one word answer कैसे देगा?
I'm so sorry. Is that statement दो है? My bad.
So the biggest failure, in fact, if you ask any founder, they will fail more than they succeed. So the biggest failure for me, for example, was when I came to the family business, and I told my dad and my uncle that, okay, let's open more stores. We had one store in South Bombay, and I said, now let's open a store in Andheri, Lokhandwala, and Powai, and these are the prime locations, Bandra.
Right.
और वहाँ पे जब रेंट सुनते थे तो सब चक्कर आ जाता था. लाइक 1.5-2 लाख का रेंट देना है, उसमें उस टाइम पे 50 रुपीज़ पर स्कूप का आइसक्रीम था. तो इतने आइसक्रीम बेचोगे तब जाके ब्रेक इवन होगा. So but I said no, but this is how the brand is supposed to grow, and this is how we will grow. So when I put up the first store in King Circle, then put up a second store in Powai, and this was all within a period of 6 months. But the stores weren't kind of, they were not selling. मतलब sales नहीं हो रहा था. It was थोड़ा सा slow चल रहा था for whatever reason. And then I came up with my third proposition, let's put up one more store in Andheri Lokhandwala. At this point of time, everybody put their foot down and said, boss, पहले अभी ये 2 stores को आप चलाओ, break even पे लाओ, उसके बाद करेंगे. So that point of time, I just played a bet saying that we will go ahead with one more store, and if this store doesn't work, or अगर result नहीं आया, sale नहीं हुआ, बढ़ना नहीं पड़ा,
Right.
I will quit and I will go back to my job, because I had left almost a 75 lakhs to 1 crore package at that point of time, and I had joined the family business जिसमें income already fixed था. It was getting divided between same family members. So if I am not bringing incrementality, then what's the point? Might as well go back and do job. So I think वो जो 2-3 महीने थे ना उसमें वो फट गई थी कि यार अभी अगर ये नहीं चला और वापस जॉब पे जाना पड़ा ना तो आई थिंक that was a low point in my life. But I think one of my favorite scenes from movies, and I used to watch movies a lot, अब तो time नहीं मिलता, is from The Dark Knight Rises when Bruce Wayne is supposed to jump out of that well. Every time he ties a rope and he tries to jump out but he doesn't. Last attempt he cuts off the rope. He says अभी अगर गिरा तो या तो मर जाऊंगा या तो हड्डी पति टूटेगी. And where you have cut off all the safety net, when you know that this is the last shot you are going to get to save the country to save the city of your childhood, and then he makes it. So I think I cut off my safety net. I told that if this doesn't work, I'll go back to job, and then I could not sleep for so many days. But then a lot of things started clicking, and I got some ideas, and today where I am is because of that bet which I took.
How nice, super. I think that sense of safety is sort of something that you need to take care of when you sort of do those 1 to 10 journeys also. Most overrated business advice you've heard?
Money can solve everything. Raise money and you will be sorted. And do I need to explain it? Because yeah, rapid fire मतलब phone दिया खत्म.
I gave an interesting answer, that's why it was sort of double clicking. But fair, let's not. A habit that you credit your success for.
Sorry, can you repeat?
A habit that you accredit your success to.
Believing in your gut.
One place in India you always want to revisit.
Bangalore.
Why is that?
Qualification. I think every time I visit Bangalore, I come back with something new
To raise funds.
So first time I went to Bangalore, I came back with a factory, like my contract manufacturer. Second time I went to Bangalore, I came back with capital. Third time when I went to Bangalore, I came back with the quick commerce business meetings, the channel setup. So I think Bangalore, I think to me, the one city where any founder can make it big if they have the right idea and execution, and which is why so many founders start from Bangalore. I think I'm born and brought up in Bombay, that's why I can't. But if I was to, let's say, there was no constraint on which city can you operate from, I would choose Bangalore.
Got it. What's one thing you hope people remember after today's talk?
आइसक्रीम तो बढ़िया बना दी थी लेकिन फाउंडर उससे भी बढ़िया है.
Superb. Last rapid fire question. One thing about you that surprises most people.
Is that while I work very seriously, I don't take life very seriously. So for example, you will find me a bit like if I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, my reels are very humorous, funny. That's the way I am with my investors also. Like in my investor group, if they ask me some serious question, I'll reply with a GIF and a meme before explaining that why did I send this.
Right.
I just feel that यार इतना pressure लेके life में कुछ होने नहीं वाला है. You don't have to chase $1 billion valuations all the time. It's good to aspire for it, but just like you get one shot at building something, you will also get one shot at life. So just be happy. Build in a way that you enjoy going to work every day, and it will not happen अगर हम लोग pressure लेके या stress लेके काम करेंगे. Even while you guys are at IIM Lucknow and Noida campus, अगर इतना पढ़ाई है, इतना stress है, अरे ठीक है यार, होगा आगे और stress आने वाला है. So just be chill. And the rest will fall in place. But doesn't mean you don't work hard. You work the hardest you have ever, but just do it with a smile on your face.
Thanks for those candid answers. That's a wrap on rapid fire questions. Moving on, Kiran, in your own words, can you define what are you building with Go Zero and share the big vision behind it? How do you communicate to this to the consumers, and what's unique edge or advantage that sets Go Zero apart from all the other brands in the market?
So in the pandemic, 2020 and 21, I saw that the offtake of sugar-free ice creams in the family business. So family business में भी हमारे पास
Right.
थोड़े से sugar-free ice creams थे. That was increasing. Like people were becoming more health conscious. Similarly, at that point of time, I saw a few more brands which had started, in healthy, low-calorie, zero-sugar space. I talked to a few VC friends of mine. They said that they are very bullish about यहाँ से अगले 5-10 साल की जो जर्नी है in India in FMCG consumer space. Better for you brands will find a lot of traction. So I said, yeah, if I have done ice cream for 8 years in the family business and this is the next big opportunity, which is there and nobody's captured, like the brand which was there in the market, I tried them. But I just felt to crack taste with health is very, very difficult. You know, if something is tastier, then it's generally not healthy, perceived to be not healthy.
True.
And if something is healthy, then the taste kind of will not be up to the mark. So a compromise आता है. But let's say if you're a diabetic and you're off sugar, or if you're watching your calories, or if you're a vegan and you can't have dairy, you're lactose intolerant, then why should you compromise on something which essentially is meant for having fun? Like ice cream आप लोग कब खाते हो? मतलब आप, you know, ice cream is a product which makes you happy. You know, childhood में my dad used to say, यार अगर अच्छे नंबर आएंगे तो आई गिव यू वन आइसक्रीम. घर का ही था, फ्री था, फिर भी ऐसा सब बोलते थे. But otherwise, generally we have, you know, parents telling their kids, "I'll treat you to an ice cream, get this." So ice cream is essentially it's a very happy product. It lifts your mood. Why does it have to come with any guilt? क्या taste नहीं है या what's up? So I think with this in mind, I think I started the concept of Go Zero, and it could not be with the family business because you cannot have one brand do multiple things. The consumer gets confused. So if you are very sure that this is the future of indulgence, this is the future of ice creams and desserts, it's better to have a spin-off and start a new company, a new brand with a completely different brand name, proposition, product portfolio, and all of that. So I think this is the idea and thought process behind starting Go Zero in 2022.
So there's some sort of cannibalization, right? Because your previous brand was also selling low calorie ice cream, and now you were
No. Previous brand was not selling low calorie ice cream.
low sugar.
We had a few options which having low sugar, but primarily the brand was full cream, full sugar, full indulgence.
Right. So I see the business rationale why you would sort of set up another firm and sort of lead that. But just also walk us through the decision making when it comes to sort of deciding this within your family, right? So there's an emotional aspect to that also. So how did you sort of navigate that part?
Uh, So I think as long as the core proposition is very different, the cannibalization will always happen, but it will not be to an extent कि पूरा का पूरा business वहाँ पे जा रहा है, because the ice cream industry is huge.
Right.
In fact, in the last 5 years, there have been more ice cream brands which have started in India than in the 5 years before that.
Right.
So with the advent of quick commerce, with the improved cold chain, with funding flowing in, like you would have seen so many startups, ice cream startups are now getting funded.
Right.
It's easy, and the cost of setting up a factory is very low. In fact, I don't have a factory, but so it means there is room for a lot of brands if the positioning is very, very clear. So there is no cannibalization as far as the normal ice cream is concerned, because जिसको sugar वाला खाना है वो तो वैसे भी वहीं पे जाएगा.
I think it's fair to also say that guilt-free ice cream is still a category that is being created, like expanding super fast, and it's sort of not even close to where it will be.
Guilt-free ice cream is a fraction of the entire ice cream market today. So I mean, I don't see that as a threat. In fact, I see this as an opportunity.
Right.
That today the consumer who's buying guilt-free is buying guilt-free because there is no choice available in the market which is tasty and guilt-free.
Correct. Also, just walk us through your day-to-day mindset when you were running Apsara and now Go Zero, because both of them were solving sort of different problems on day-to-day basis, considering one is very digital heavy, the other one was very retail heavy. And considering that that was sort of led between your family, now you sort of run this solo.
Yeah.
How does like a day-to-day operational mindset look for you?
So I think for any 0 to 1 journey, the mindset is the same. You are figuring where the first 100 crore of your top line is going to come. And that is the stage where we are actually kind of figuring out the product market fit for your brand. So I have seen the ice cream industry from 2014 to 25, so almost 11 years. And I can break it down into 3 specific eras of sales. So one is the era between, let's say, before 2018 or 2019, where retail was the only way where you could get to the top, the first 100 crores. Then from 2018 to 2021 or 22, when food delivery kind of really picked up. So post the pandemic, I think it got turbocharged. But even before the pandemic, we were seeing Swiggy and Zomato, and there was at one point of time there were 7 to 8 food delivery brands. So for example, Zomato was not the first. Tiny Owl करके company तो पहला आया था. Then there was Uber Eats, there was Food Panda. There was a lot of brands who were capitalizing on food deliveries. That kind of picked up. So in that phase, it was very easy to build 100 crore brands purely on food delivery platforms. Now, after quick commerce has kind of revolutionized the way people buy stuff online, and especially impulse products like ice cream.
Right.
I think today it's easy to build the first 100 crores on quick commerce, which we have already done. In fact, now I'm becoming more ambitious and saying, can I build a 200 crore brand in terms of revenue purely on quick commerce? And I think that is possible today. So I think the 0 to 1 mindset, hence, is about, because at any stage, I will have very limited resources. For example, today I may have raised a lot of capital, but most of the capital is still in the bank. So it's a safety cushion for me.
Right.
I have reached this stage by just burning 1/3 of that money which I have raised so far. Correct. Similarly, let's say if I'm building in my family business, वहाँ पे तो पैसा ही नहीं है. मतलब वो बापू से मांगना पड़ता है दो देते ही नहीं है. So which is why we go to the franchisees and we kind of, so let's say if I had to put up 100 stores, each store requires 25 lakhs to set up, like into the interiors and the machinery and equipment. If I were to do it as company outlets, it would require around 25 crores of capital. Right. For a family business, that's impossible unless you have raised. Which means then you have to go to the franchisees, which means that now there is another person who is involved in your brand operations, and they will look at the brand very differently versus what the brand owner, they want money, we want brand equity.
The incentives are
not aligned. Correct. So, but at the end of the day, it's about getting to the first 100 crores and get the product market fit. So the mindset is the same, that how can I deploy capital more efficiently? How can I build a product which is standardized so that the experience of somebody having an Apsara ice cream in Bombay, somebody having an Apsara ice cream in Bangalore, somebody having it in Hyderabad is the same. How do I ensure that the marketing is done very, very efficiently? So for example, even today, even though we have capital, we don't blow it up on, big campaigns. We kind of spend it very, very frugally. So I think these are the fundamental building blocks of 0 to 1. I think after that 1 to 10, you have to be a bit more open in terms of, number one, the kind of team you will get on board. So for example, if I'm building for the first 100 crores, I will have a very lean team. I will not just go overboard with, CMO bhi leke aao, CXO bhi leke aao, VP leke aao. Nahin, wo sab humko hi karna hai. Now, once, let's say your business has started generating enough cash, you are contribution margin positive, you have a very, very limited EBITDA burn. Now I think you can, and now you're looking to expand, let's say, beyond quick commerce or in other categories. Then you can probably get some senior folks who have experience of doing this. So we've got one person who will join us next month who has experience of doing modern trade for ice creams. Today, personally, I feel modern trade is a dying channel for ice cream as a category. But till the time it's not dead yet, we should have some presence there.
For sure.
But it's a very different game versus selling on quick commerce. So I need somebody who's experienced and who's done that. So having that today, and of course, these resources don't come cheap. They'll come with a good amount of CTC. But now I think the business can afford it. So 0 to 1 is a lot of it you have to do yourself. So I remember for the first 75 stores of Apsara, I used to go personally with the franchise to look at the location, and I would tell him exactly this is the shop where we want. And I would, to that extent, another landlord nahi मान रहा है, I would go with them and sit with the landlord and kind of negotiate कि नहीं मुझे brand के लिए यही आपका ही shop चाहिए, आप बताओ कैसे करें.
Right.
उतना personal involvement वो 0 to 1 में bandwidth देना पड़ता है. But of course after that you can always have your area managers and all of that. But I think that also gives a sense of comfort to the franchisee that the owner or the founder himself is involved and he's not just kind of taking my money and leaving me at the mercy of the market. So I think वो 0 to 1 में खुद का involvement बहुत ज़रूरी है.
And I think also just like the perseverance of being a generalist and being hell-bent about sort of figuring out every foundational problem by yourself is also very important for you to then scale effortlessly when sort of things also work in your favor.
Correct.
And I think that worked out really great for you because you were doing, like you came in from the brand background, but you also were sort of solving for operational challenges every now and then. Moving on, you've raised money from one of the best VCs when it comes to consumer VC space in India. How was the fundraising process for you? Like, considering your background that you came in from PNG and IIM Lucknow.
My fundraising process was so weird that after the round, I actually made a reel with one of my VCs on how I raised without a pitch deck. So generally VCs को ये वो pitch deck किधर है? Show me the slides and what's the TAM and all of that. So so the VC, so DSG Consumer Partner. So Hari was the managing director. He's the managing director, and we were together in one of the GD sessions when in 2009. I think Bangalore ka tha wo. So we were together in the group discussion. So that's how we met for the first time, and then we were in touch. And after I was like out of the family business and looking to raise capital,
Right.
because this was a new thing for me. I've never raised for the family business. So I was just looking around कि कौन है इस space में. तो 4-5 नाम आए, DSG Consumer, Fireside, Sama, Wall Invest. And then I looked at DSG. I said, Hari, this is इसको तो मैं जानता हूँ. So I just pinged him on LinkedIn saying let's chat. And he said, and coincidentally at that point of time they were also looking for a better for you ice cream brand to take a bet. They had evaluated one of my competitors, but they had passed because they did not like the product. So I just turned up at his office with my samples. मेरा product ये है, competition का ये है. This is what I've done at Apsara. So थोड़ा सा वो भी लेके गया. This is how I know how to make a good ice cream.
For sure.
So just tried the products. He liked it. He immediately put me in touch with 3-4 more other VC friend of his. Everybody just product and 1 hour of session with me. And that's how I closed the deal without any fancy pitch deck. Because at the end of the day, what these people want and is the founder and his story. That they are putting a money, because when I raised, I was doing 4-5 lakhs or 10 lakhs per month. Today we are doing 10 crores per month.
Right.
So उस टाइम पे प्रूफ कुछ है ही नहीं, बट एक ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड है कि इसने 8 साल आइसक्रीम इंडस्ट्री में काम किया है. अगर ये कुछ करेगा तो ये फोड़ लेगा, तो इस पे पैसा लगा सकते हैं.
I mean, years of you sort of doing different things came together and it just became the right time, right moment for you to raise funds. How nice. So moving on and talking about the product innovation and the guilt-free aspect part of the ice creams, India is home to second largest population of people with diabetes after China. As of last year, about 9 crore people in India had diabetes, and this number is projected to soar to 15 crores in a few years. Moreover, 43% of adults with diabetes in India are undiagnosed, right? So, what role overall do you think D2C brands play in shaping consumer health narratives?
I think the biggest validation for us came last month when the CBSE board directed all schools to put up a sugar board for all the students to understand के अगर आप जूस पीते हो तो उसमें इतना शुगर है, अगर आप सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक्स पीते हो तो इतना शुगर है, and all that. So I think there is going to be a lot more awareness around how sugar is not good for you and you should just control the amount of sugar you are taking. It's already there in developed countries. So in Singapore, for example, depending on how much sugar the product has, you have to grade yourself as A, B, C or D. If you fall in C or D, you cannot advertise your products. You cannot, promote your products. As you rightly said, I don't know if that number is true, but we are actually the largest population of diabetics, even more than China, and an equal number of pre-diabetic. तो आज अगर उनको diabetes हो सकता है. But at the same time, we are also a country who loves their मीठा. Right. So I am a Gujarati, for example, मेरे दाल में भी चीनी है. तो हमको मीठा तो चाहिए. तो the problem is that people don't realize that they like the sweetness. And because the sweetness came from sugar, they feel that sugar हर चीज में होनी चाहिए. Now with R&D on sugar replacements, today we have a whole lot of sweeteners available. Some of them are artificial, for example aspartame, and they have you have research which shows that it's not good for you, but you have a lot of natural sweeteners as well, like stevia, monk fruit, fructooligosaccharides, which give you the same sweetness as sugar without any calories. So stevia, for example, is 300 or 400 times sweeter than sugar, 1 gram of stevia, but it has 0 calories. Fructooligosaccharides, which is another sweetener which we use, is 70% sweeter than sugar. तो वो sugar से कम मीठा है. But again, it has less calories and it is good for your health, your gut. So it's a dietary fiber. So if you replace sugar, so the challenge in R&D is if you replace sugar. So one is you have to find a sweetener which will give you the same amount of sweetness. But the other challenge is in ice cream, sugar is not only about the sweetness, it's also about the texture. तो अगर मैं शुगर निकाल के सिर्फ स्टीविया डालूंगा तो वो मीठा होगा, बट इट विल बी रॉक सॉलिड, यू नॉट बी एबल टू स्कूप इट एंड एंजॉय इट, बिकॉज वो टेक्सचर नहीं दे पाएगा. इफ आई ओनली यूज FOS, I will get the texture, but I will not get the sweetness. So the trick lies in blending 2 or 3 sweeteners and creating the right amount of sweetness plus texture plus 50% less calories. And now you can replace sugar with this blend. So that takes a lot of time, and plus every flavor reacts differently. So a chocolate flavor will react differently. A fruit flavor will react differently with this combination. So you have to kind of do a lot of trials, because at the end of the day, if I don't like the taste, you can shout through the roof that you are low calorie, zero sugar, but अगर मुझे taste अच्छा नहीं लगा तो मैं trial कर लूंगा, but I will not repeat.
For sure. And I think
And today the whole war is about repeat customer.
For
So
sure.
for repeat, you have to crack taste.
just also walk us through like time, money investment when it comes to especially doing guilt-free ice cream R&D compared to the traditional sort of R&D. Like how many months does it take to crack like a new flavor? And just walk us through that process. How do you sort of go about it?
So I think it depends from founder to founder. I mean, some people can take a year, but if you do it, what helps is having spent 8 years in the ice cream industry before, so I know the basics. So apart from sugar, everything else is the same. So milk, SMP, milk solids, fruit content, all of that is the same. It's only the sugar. So my time to take R&D and develop a guilt-free range for Go Zero was not more than 3 months. So within 3 months, you can perfect the recipe. And the thing about entrepreneurship is, you should never be waiting for the perfect moment.
Right.
You should always launch and then you keep iterating. So for example, the range which you will see today in the market and the range with which we launch, there is a lot of difference in that also. But मैं वो range perfect करने के लिए wait नहीं करूँगा. If I feel that I am 70 to 80% ready in terms of the product, I will launch it. Take consumer feedback, take family and friend feedback, take the investor community feedback, and then keep working on it. So I think in 3 months, I had a product which was good enough to launch, and then we launched in July 22.
Just sort of curious on this, like are we compromising in terms of flavor when it comes to guilt-free ice cream in some shape or form? And are we sort of making the most healthiest possible ice cream? Is there, just zooming out and sort of asking you this, is there more a larger scope to make it even more healthier than what it is today?
So see, there is always a scope, because at the end of the day, it's about the science.
Right.
It's about what new product is available in the market which I can use as a replacement for stevia. For example, a lot of people today talk about monk fruit. But in India, we also have to understand that the regulatory compliance is important. So I can only put those ingredients which the FSSAI, which is the regulatory body in India,
There.
allows you to. So there is no clear guidelines around monk fruit. While in other countries they use it, but in India, stevia is primarily the most important sweetener which today we can use. So I think there is always room, and I feel calories today is becoming so important. Protein is becoming very, very important. So we are seeing a lot of brands now coming up with protein bars, protein chips. Amul has launched a protein kulfi. I think protein is probably the next big trend in India which we'll be looking to tap. तब प्रोटीन का शुगर से तो कोई लेना देना ही नहीं है. तो शुगर नहीं है तो उसमें कैलोरीज कम होगा, बट मुझे प्रोटीन बढ़ाना है. सो आई हैव टू लुक एट वे प्रोटीन, आई हैव टू लुक एट different sources of protein, soya, plant-based, milk-based, all of that. So I think better for you or healthier is about, at the end of it, is 5 or 6 nutritional parameters. One is the calories, other is the protein, other is the sugar. Then what are the kind of minerals like sodium, potassium? While these are very small in quantity, but they're still required in your body to function at a certain level.
Right.
I think all of this together, I think the product will keep evolving, I would say, for the next 1 year, 2 years to become healthier.
Yeah, I think especially that sort of protein insight that you gave, I think 10 years ago, there was barely a conversation where people used to sort of think about how much grams of protein are they sort of intaking. And for the last 3 months, I've been tracking every single calorie that I've been putting in, and it's become like a common place for you to talk to other people and see them sort of tracking and sort of consciously eating what they're eating now.
I think also what's different today is that on social media, you have a lot of people who you can look up to for guidance on make मुझे nutrition कैसा होना चाहिए.
Right.
So food farmer, for example, we talk a lot about sugar and what's not good and read the labels, understand what's going in. and the awareness levels are just much higher than what it was earlier. तो पहले nobody used to really bother about के अंदर क्या जा रहा है. But the reality today is just like we have the largest number of diabetics or pre-diabetics. We also have a lot of people who are deficient in protein. So more than 65% people are protein deficient. And it's more severe in vegetarians where the source of protein is even lower. So for every kilogram, you need 1.5 grams of protein. So let's say if you're a 50, if your weight is 50 kg, then you need 75 grams of protein. I'm sure. अंदाजा लगा लो कितने, like if you're a vegetarian, you will have lentils, you will have your paneer, you will have sprouts. और कहाँ से आप 75 grams of protein बटोर सको? Possible ही नहीं है.
Fair. I think I recently sort of made a video about this. Indians take 40 grams of average intake, which is pretty low from the recommended intake. And you mentioned Food Farmer. I think just while you mentioned, I think it'd be great collaboration between a whey protein ice cream with the only what's needed Food Farmer brand.
Collab is the name of the game today. I think
Yeah.
brands are looking for synergies with low cost marketing efforts. You can get the best of both worlds. So I think, yeah, for sure.
I also want to talk about your moment of fame through Shark Tank. So can you sort of just quantify what kind of impact you saw because of your Shark Tank appearance? And sort of also after that add if there's some value that Aman Gupta being a board member brought for the brand.
So Aman Gupta was on the panel and he invested. And after Namita Thapar came to know that Aman has invested in GoZero and she'd been tracking my journey for a while, she reached out off air and she said, even I want to be a part. So today I have two sharks on the camera, Aman and Namita. So I think my fascination about with Shark Tank started in 2021 in December, when I was just starting up with the idea of GoZero. And the first season of Shark Tank aired in 21, and I think in the first few episodes there were two ice cream brands which came there, and one of them was a healthy ice cream brand as well. So I said, यार ये platform तो बहुत ही बढ़िया है for a founder. There are 5 people who have built phenomenal brands and companies, huge turnovers. They are sitting in, you are pitching to them, you're talking about your journey, your product, they're questioning you. And at the end, they're also giving you a funding and mentoring you. And plus, you are getting a chance to showcase your journey to millions of viewers on TV. But at the same time, if you are not present in most of the cities, then when the episode airs, तो मैं ये बोलते रहता हूँ कि आपके followers बढ़ेंगे, but धंधा नहीं बढ़ेगा.
Right.
So your people will follow you on Instagram, your page will grow, and but sales will not grow because people searching for GoZero, they will not be able to buy. So I was thinking on when is the right time for me to go on Shark Tank. So season 1 तो निकल गया. I could have gone on season 2 also, but I was just starting out, and I think the focus was more on building the business than because it takes a lot of bandwidth to go through all the processes as well.
For sure.
Season 3 again I could have gone, but quick commerce had just started at that point of time in 2023. And I was seeing that I think this channel is something which probably if I wait for one more year and have enough distribution on quick commerce in all the major cities, in the next season if I get selected, तो guarantee नहीं था. And if the episode airs, people will be able to search for GoZero while the episode is,
Right.
while I am pitching. They will get the product and they will be able to taste it before my pitch ends. So I kind of waited. So in season 4, I applied, and of course through multiple selection criteria, and then the episode was shot in October, and it was released in first week of January, which is a good time because Feb से हमारा proper ice cream season शुरू होता है. Should get good awareness. And coincidentally, Instamart was the sponsor of that season.
Right.
So
Everything aligning in your favor one by one.
I think it's also that you have to be patient and do the things right, and things will fall in place for you eventually. So because Instamart was the sponsor, we got featured on so many sections on their app. Plus there was a bite at the end of the day where the host talks about if you like GoZero, please order on Instamart. So a lot of publicity वहाँ पे मिला. So we were at around 2.5 crores of monthly revenue before the episode aired, and I think today now we are at around 10 crores of revenue. So it's been a 4x spike in a matter of 6 months.
I think sort of superb timing, but also like great sort of wisdom on being very great on timing and that working out in terms of network effect through quick commerce sales. And I know that Go Zero sort of ends up selling most on quick commerce, right? But what is the current split between quick commerce, retail, modern trade, and why? How do you sort of foresee that split in the next 3-4 years?
So when I started in July 22, उस टाइम पे क्विक कॉमर्स नहीं था इतना,
Adoption चल रहा
अडॉप्शन नहीं था, एंड ब्रांड्स वर नॉट रियली हाँ ठीक है क्विक कॉमर्स है बट कितना चलेगा, व्हाट द सस्टेनेबिलिटी, VCs वर काइंड ऑफ डिसमिसिंग द मॉडल, सो वी डिड नॉट पे लॉट ऑफ अटेंशन एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. So we put up our own dark stores and we were selling on Swiggy and Zomato, the food delivery. And when we listed on Zepto, that was in December 22, and the first summer season, so ice cream is a very seasonal business. So summer is when you kind of make 50% of your annual revenue. That summer season, we crossed 50 lakhs per month revenue on Zepto for the first time. And in such a short span of time, I had never seen a brand cross 50 lakhs per month. Which is when मेरे को चमका कि यार अभी इसको पकड़ के डबल डाउन, because even at that point of time there were not a lot of brands which had onboarded on quick commerce compared to what the scene is today. So we then kind of chased the other platforms, got ourselves listed, negotiated hard on how many SKUs, which cities to launch. I think वो push करते 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 today, while those dark stores which we launched with on Swiggy Zomato are still there, but almost 85 to 90% of the revenue is coming from quick commerce and only 10 to 15% is coming from Swiggy and Zomato. Modern trade अभी हम शुरू करेंगे journey.
And so, like, for somebody like you who had some background in ice cream, right? It's easy for, I think, quick commerce players to be sort of convinced. But for somebody who's starting out without having like exact same industry background, do you think it's easier for them to get listed online? Because there's only so many brands that can get discovered on quick commerce, right?
I don't fully agree that because the ice cream background, because तो ice cream background है मेरा, but the product which I am giving them is a zero sugar ice cream. So they don't know whether the consumer will, want to buy zero sugar ice cream. Then this is I'm talking about 2022 and 23, where most of the brands are still full sugar, full cream, high calorie. So you have to still convince them, because मैं तो अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बना लूंगा, बट अगर कंज्यूमर डिमांड नहीं है तो फिर क्या फायदा. And at the end of the day, quick commerce is all about shelf space or your dark store space.
Right.
So their biggest KPI is how much revenue per square foot can you drive out of a dark store. So a cup of Go Zero, for example, and a cup of Amul will require the same amount of space in a dark store. But the volume in that
around also.
Amul जितना बिकेगा वह उसका 1/10 भी नहीं बेच रहा है. So for them, it's kind of this product, if it's not moving fast, I should not give them a lot of space, which is why we then discuss how many SKUs, kitna onboarding and all of that. So, and the early stages, it's all about the proof of concept, which is then after you do the marketing, after you do all your promotional activities, and you kind of slowly reach that scale where today now, let's say if I switch off all the marketing budgets, अगर मैं zero कर दूँ, तो भी मेरा धंधा 30% से ज़्यादा नहीं गिरेगा. So 70% of my business now on quick commerce is organic. People are searching for Go Zero and buy. To put it in context, last year around the search volume would be around 14 to 15,000 per month. So let's say the entire month.
This is organic.
15,000 people search for Go Zero on Blinkit, for example. Today, almost 1.25 lakh searches. It's crazy. On Blinkit. So 1.25 lakh लोग आके Go Zero search करके ले रहे हैं.
Since you've also spoken about marketing now, can you walk us through how do you sort of spend compared to organic versus performance? And how is this ROI? Like, how do you also measure when it comes to ROI in terms of where do you spend for the next 3 months? Which for the next season, where do you want to focus more of your investments on?
So I think there is no fixed playbook, but I think as a rule of thumb, what I feel and I tell people these days who are just starting up is in the initial days, I think you should just focus on performance marketing. Basically, it means running search campaigns.
Right.
If somebody is searching, and in any category, there will always be a bigger player than you who is, having more volume. So you should always start by bidding, let's say, on your competitor keywords, showing them the product. वहाँ से शुरू करो, वहाँ से थोड़ा सा traction build करो. Side by side, start a little bit of content creation as well, which is a long-term compounding game. Performance marketing will give you instant results, let's say, and the window to measure is, let's say, 1.5 hours. Today, if I show an ad in the next 1.5 hour, how many people are buying on quick commerce? On e-commerce, it was traditionally 7 days. Amazon, Flipkart पे आज quick commerce पे 1-1.5 घंटे में they track.
Right.
So the ROAS is almost 3 to 4. So it means if you're spending a rupee, you're getting 3 rupee of sales, which you can put back into the same performance marketing funnel and keep growing that. So that becomes a flywheel. Then keep little bit, let's say 5 to 10% of your budget aside and start creating content because it will take time. And today the channels for content creation, like पहले Instagram होता था या Facebook होता था, आज तो LinkedIn for example is a very big channel for content creation.
Right.
People want to know what is the founder building, what has your journey been like, what are your learnings as a founder, मैंने MBA किया है but आज मैं बोलता हूँ कि यार MBA नहीं करना है,
Right.
तो क्यों बोल रहा है ये?
But why are we saying this in front of MBA students?
हाँ नहीं मैं यार यू शुड ऑलवेज रीड द फाइन प्रिंट, वो नीचे वो टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस अप्लाई होते हैं, लाइक द MBA नहीं करना चाहिए इज अ हुक, बट इफ इट्स लेट्स से IIM ABC L like the top IIMs, it's a no brainer, वो तो करना ही चाहिए,
Right.
बट आउटसाइड ऑफ दैट आई थिंक वी आर डाइग्रेसिंग ऑल्सो नाउ, हम लोग MBA पे टॉपिक पे आ गए. आउटसाइड ऑफ दैट what is the ROI of an MBA program today? What are the skills which you are actually learning which I can use on the job? So I interview a lot of, and this is what my peer founders also tell me, they interview a lot of MBAs from tier 1, tier 2 colleges who, because they have paid a big or a huge amount of fees for the 2 years, they expect a certain CTC because उससे नीचे का पैकेज लूंगा तो मेरे लिए सेंस नहीं बनेगा, मेरा पैसा नहीं, like my interest है, loans हैं, right? But for that CTC, the kind of skills I'm expecting from them, वो match नहीं कर रहे हैं. So today, for example, I am better off getting a smart person who cracked a good percentile but was not able to make to an MBA college. I can get that person with me. He can learn the things on the go, and eventually after 2 years, he'll be at the same CTC वो MBA करने के बाद निकलता.
I remember one of your LinkedIn posts where you sort of also asked one of your employees to stay back.
Yeah.
And not go for an MBA, and then you also spoke to his
So
family.
he was ready, but his dad wasn't ready. So Sunday को मैं उसके घर गया, उसके dad के साथ बैठा 3 घंटे तक, बहस हुई नहीं हुई सब. I said, see, at the end of the day, the simple insight was his dad was concerned about his son's future.
Right.
And like every parent, they feel MBA is a safety net for your future. I said, today the safety net can be multiple things. Like working with a founder like me could be a safety net because he himself wants to start up after why. I said 3 से 5 साल मेरे साथ काम करो. CTC, today what I'm giving him is what he will probably make the average CTC from an IIM Lucknow is what I'm giving him. तो CTC पे भी compromise नहीं किया मैंने.
Right.
कि MBA तो कम देता हूँ, चलो पैसा बचाता हूँ, नहीं. If he justifies, तो मैं दे देगा. After 3 to 5 years, if you are like, good enough and you want to kind of now start up something of your own, I will even give you that seed capital to start. So now tell me, why do you want to do an MBA?
Makes sense. I think countries like ours, who were sort of population heavy, the amount of focus we put on signaling has always been high. And 10 years ago, only MBA was like a way to sort of signal that you're sort of standing out. But today, you can easily build like a proof of work while working with early stage startups, putting in the extra
So if
effort.
I give my example, 2011 was when I passed out. And if in 2025, today we have more than 1.5 lakhs startups which are registered जो पहले नहीं होते थे. तो आज आपके पास opportunity है. The amount of VC money flowing today in the country is more than what it was 10 years back. The opportunities are just so much. And with AI, for example, you can create a small company and startup, and you just need 8 to 10 people and a reasonable amount of funding in startup. A lot of people who do MBA also do it so that they can become entrepreneurs in the future. Correct. But so I'm saying today that is not the only way you can pursue that. Of course, if you want a good career in an MNC, so PNG for example, मुझे नहीं लेता अगर मेरे पास IIM का MBA नहीं होता.
Right.
तो अगर मेरा वो aspiration है, then of course I have to go through this route only. But a lot of people don't have that aspiration, which is fine.
Yeah, I think decision needs to be made with that clarity of what you want to do.
Correct.
So I think quick commerce is obviously accelerating sales, right? And it has become the primary place for brands to sort of sell to at least Gen Z audience. And now in the last 2-3 years, the adoption has been across.
ऐसे मत बोलो यार. Mom orders milk like anything for sure on Zepto. Like वो दूध वाले को मना कर देगा.
Now everybody is ordering. I think most of the spend is there. But do you see this as incremental sales in the overall market, or is it like cannibalizing what you would sort of shop offline through GTMT?
So I'll give you the ice cream example. Like the best example today in this industry which has benefited from quick commerce. In 2020, the per capita consumption of ice cream in India was around 400 ml to 500 ml. Half liter. So ice cream liter में बेचते हैं. आधा
This is per month.
annual.
Annual, sorry. Per cap-
Annual per capita consumption of ice cream in India was a half a liter.
per liter.
Versus in the US is 4 to 5 liters, versus in China is 7 to 8 liters, and New Zealand is similar. While we're a dairy surplus economy. Today, the consumption is around 1.5 to 2 liters. So it's grown 4x.
It's in span of how many years?
5 years. Today, the fastest growing category on quick commerce outside of the F&B, fruits and vegetables and dairy and daily staples, is ice cream. The second most searched keyword on quick commerce today is ice cream. In 2023, so the peak season for ice cream, the peak month for ice cream is May. So May 2023, Blinkit, for example, did around 8 to 10 crores of ice cream sales per month in May. This is pan India.
8 to 10.
2024, that number was around 34 to 35 crores.
4x.
2025, so May 25, that number crossed 100 crores. And the plan they are making for the next summer season is 200 to 300 crores of monthly ice cream sales. This is only for Blinkit. If I put together all the other quick commerce players, this is easily 1,000 crore per month category on quick commerce. If I just take 5% of the share,
Makes sense.
makes sense and makes money also.
Hmm.
So investors be khush.
Right. And I think this is so indulgence as a category, because it's also sort of linked, attributed to some kind of impulse, right?
Yeah.
Do you also see, like, just moving on to the next question, what are the 3 other categories you see emerging in the next sort of D2C space in India?
So I think categories, I would say themes.
Right.
I would say health and wellness as a theme is really going to explode. Not just ice cream, but today you take any category in food and you will have a better for you version.
Which is calorie less, protein
It
heavy.
could be calorie, it could be more protein, it could be less maida, it could be whatever. So breads, for example, a very good friend of mine is building an amazing company called as the Health Factory.
Right.
Their core or their hero SKU is the zero maida bread. अब वो लोग 8 से 10 करोड़ पर मंथ का ब्रेड बेच रहे हैं जीरो मैदा. There are so many founders who are building better for you snacks. There is a brand called Super You.
Right.
I'm sure you would have heard. Is into protein chips and wafers. And right. So I think better for you. I know a few founder friends who are now building better for you soda brands. So the traditional Coke, Sprite, Pepsi, which is like a
0 calorie soda brand.
full of sugar.
Right.
While Coke has come up with the Coke Zero and Pepsi has Pepsi Black. Thumbs Up has launched X-Force. But again, these are variations or brand extensions. But if somebody builds a brand from day one, which is a better for you brand, the trust is slightly higher. So today, for example, if GoZero was to launch a chocolate, I am pretty sure that from day one, I will get, so my 100 crore journey for building a chocolate subcategory under the GoZero umbrella would not take 3 years, जो मुझे ice cream में लगा, because now that goodness will rub on to this category. So I think health and wellness as a theme, I think could be really fantastic. So that's one thing. You asked for 3. The second thing, and I think it's a no-brainer, is AI. I think AI as a technology and as a platform is going to really kind of explore, and you will see a lot of startups. Most of them today, unfortunately, are from the West. But I think there is someday some Indian startup will come up with, like China is coming up with everything which US is doing. Hopefully someday, the next 5 to 10 years, we'll have some Indian company. But at least the application. So today, while the tech might not be from India, but a lot of companies are using AI-powered applications and kind of giving products. So for example, we use Gobble Cube, which is a fantastic product if you want to track a lot of data related to quick commerce consumers and journey. So for example, today in this pin code, मेरा इस SKU का बेल्जियन डार्क चॉकलेट का कितना ऑफटेक है, कितना इन्वेंट्री है, डू आई नीड टू रिप्लेनिश इट फास्टर? All of this I can get through. So AI is powering a lot of such solutions also.
Such crazy level of personalization that can happen through
Yeah. And I think it just improves your overall productivity. Like जो पहले 10 लोग लग रहते थे या दिन के 8-10 घंटे लगते थे, वो आप आज आधे घंटे 1 घंटे में कर सकते हो. That's the second. Third, I am also very bullish is the pet industry.
the pet industry.
Yeah. A lot of people today are increasingly choosing career over family. And I feel that we will probably see a generation where they are not having kids
Right.
or having just one kid, but are increasingly adopting more pets. So I think with that will open up a lot of pet food, pet services. Walker pet is kind of is also big. I think anything related to pet in the next 5 to 10 years, I feel will do really well.
Thanks for those categories. I think people will sort of also do their own research. But I also read this LinkedIn post of yours. I think you posted this last month, where you had mentioned that you already have some amount of generational wealth and you're not looking to sort of have short-term financial incentives, looking to sort of build something long-term. You also have a very beautiful family that keeps you engaged. But you wrote that you happen to still put in like 12, 14 hours every day to build this brand, even on the weekends. So, what is the North Star that you're chasing? Is it financial or is it something way bigger than that?
Yeah, there is the North Star can never be financials. I think should be very clear about it. If you are a founder, you are not building something for financial outcome as the end goal. You are building something for two primary reasons, is what I feel. One is the problem which you are solving is large enough so that you can build something really meaningful out of it. लाइक से अगर मैं शुगर फ्री आइसक्रीम बनाऊंगा और सिर्फ 10 लोग ही हैं खाने वाले, तो यार मतलब मुझे क्या मतलब बना के कुछ मतलब नहीं.
Right.
But because the population is so large, because this category is growing at a much faster pace, because you are having so much VC money coming in that will only grow this category further, because there is now quick commerce. So I think this becomes more meaningful to build out. Second, are you really passionate about that problem which you are solving? और आर यू जस्ट सॉल्विंग कि मुझे 200 करोड़ मिलेगा एग्जिट के टाइम, तो वो अगर वो माइंडसेट से करोगे तो बिल्कुल नहीं मिलेगा. इफ यू आर गोइंग टू ऑफिस और वर्क for 12 to 14 hours a day and you are not enjoying the problem which you are solving, then you will give up at some point of time. So it is very important for you to kind of really have a passionate problem to solve, which is why you kind of end up spending 12 to 14 hours, which you can't expect anybody else. And I think I was talking to sir in the morning that this is something which money can't solve. So for example, if I give one of my employees, if I double their salary, the output will not double because they are not aligned with the same passion with which I am working on GoZero. Once that happens, then the 2x salary also won't matter.
True.
If they are really aligned to solving this problem, then they will solve it regardless.
You can't put a price to
You
passion.
can't put a price to it. So I think those two things are very important, and then you should enjoy what you're doing.
I'll segue into the last part of the conversation, which surprisingly is also again a rapid fire, with statements. But last question.
Real ID से आओ करण जौहर है.
Last question. So, what is the most exciting thing that you're looking in the future about GoZero for the next 5 years? Like, what is the most exciting thing when you think about GoZero?
I think the most exciting thing, and I firmly believe it, is GoZero will or should become the beacon for guilt-free indulgence. Now, what I mean by that is, today, for example, we sell ice creams because that comes naturally to me, having worked for 8 years in family business. So I took this category. But at the end of the day, indulgence is about something sweet. So
Right.
a chocolate is an indulgence for you. A cookie is an indulgence for you. A shake is an indulgence for you. A chocolava cake or a Belgian waffle is an indulgence for you. और ये सब में एक ही चीज़ कॉमन है, जो शुगर से मिठास. तो if GoZero is able to establish that equity through ice creams initially and maybe a couple of other categories, then it has the platform which it can really become one of the biggest FMCG companies in India, whose who's known for guilt-free indulgence. I think that is something which really excites me today. Having seen the results in ice cream, and I feel now that could be the we'll probably test it out with a couple of other categories in the next 6 months to just kind of validate the hypothesis. If that's true, then I think it'll just take off from there.
I think superb. The kind of impact on health is very understated here, but it'll be like very exciting to watch this journey. Again, moving into the last segue now. I have 6 questions for you. The first one is, what was the hardest day in the first year of Go Zero for you?
The hardest day in the first year was when we so because we don't have our own plant, so we outsource it.
Right.
The first day, I think the contract manufacturer at that point of time flipped, saying nahi yaar ab to mere ko, so we had a condition that this this rate, these products, all of that. Just a week before, they kind of flipped and saying, no, sorry, we can't, deliver to this on condition. And I'm just a week away from my launch. My freezers have reached the dark stores, and now just 1 week before, I am left with no contract manufacturer. Like, where will I make the ice cream?
Right.
Which is why having a network helps. So in the 8 years of Apsara, I had developed a good network. I immediately called somebody else, he's a senior guy. I said, uncle, this is what the situation is. I'm just 1 week away from the launch. My containers have been printed. They have the manufacturing address of the other guy. So if I, give a new container for printing आपके address के साथ में, उसको और 1 महीना लगेगा. So is it okay if you can just, use these containers and help me? So he said, किरण भाई आपका ये plant है, कभी भी आके कर लो. So for that one day, I felt that यार 1 week में भी कहाँ से होगा, क्या होगा. So I was just kind of very low. But I think once you build a network, and I think this is something which everybody should also do, whether at IIM or whether it's some corporate, career,
Right.
or in life in general, just build a very strong network so that you always have a plan B.
Also, just we didn't touch upon this previously, but you obviously do contract manufacturing. And how do I'm assuming today most of the production happens in Maharashtra, and in future you
Today, so I think now the South market is becoming big for us. So Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, these are the 3 biggest markets together. So almost 35 to 40% of my volume is now made in the Bangalore plant.
okay. And you also plan to have a plant in the east or the north?
Not east, but in north. So in Noida, we have one plant. So after year, I'll be visiting there. So the first plant we started was in Maharashtra because I'm from Bombay.
Right.
But as soon as we realized that now Bangalore is and the south is a market which is kind of giving you more volume.
It's also located centrally. That
Correct. So मैं Bombay से बना के Bangalore क्यों भेजूं? Because the cold chain is so expensive. Now I'll activate a contract manufacturer in Bangalore,
Right.
which will service my southern market. Now once North is becoming big, especially after Shark Tank, because most of the viewership is from North because it's a Hindi show. So North became big for me. So now in April 25, we kind of also activated a manufacturer in North. I think East today as a market for ice creams is not that big yet, but probably maybe a couple of years down the line, we never know.
What's the most counterintuitive thing you learned about product development for how India sort of indulges?
Counterintuitive thing. I think sometimes we take consumer feedback too seriously. The consumers themselves don't know what they want. So I think if you have spent a lot of years in the industry, your taste buds know what exactly the consumer wants.
Right.
तो पहले वीक में वो लोग आपको रिजेक्ट करेंगे, बट स्टिक एट फॉर अ वाइल एंड दे विल एक्सेप्ट इट. सेम फ्लेवर जो पहले रिजेक्ट किया था अब दबा के बिक रहे हैं.
What's your wildest idea for new customer engagement that you would want to try but still haven't?
I think I would want somebody to come to the factory and develop a very different flavor for me. I'll record the entire thing and make a reel out of it.
Everything has to go back to the reeds. What feels hardest about growing so fast right now?
I don't know whether it's hard, but I think the team running the show is such a lean team. I think so. For example, today we are a 100 crore ARR company and we have less than 35 members.
Right.
While all the other competitors in this space have 50, 60, 75, team members. So a very lean team, which means that at some point of time, I think they feel the pressure as well. So how to keep them motivated, how to ensure that my core is intact for the next 3 to 5 years. I think this is the hardest part because I don't want to have too many people on the board, and then for some reason, if the chips are down, you have to let go of people. That's the hardest thing to do.
Right.
I think with a lean team, growing this is probably the biggest challenge which I have faced.
I think the IIM Lucknow batch is also graduating in a few months.
Yeah.
36th employee might just be sitting here.
Yeah. No, my 36th employee got an IIM Shillong admit on the day I made her an offer.
Right.
And guess what did she choose?
Go Zero?
Yeah.
How nice. Which D2C founder in another category do you admire and why?
I think he's a fellow IIM Lucknow. My batchmate.
Safe to name a friend though.
No, it's not safe because I have probably learned from him a lot, and he continues to kind of be on my cap table, board of directors as well. We were sitting next to each other in IIM Lucknow as well. I was PGP 25093. He was PGP 25094, and today he is the founder and CEO of Bombay Shaving Company, and also a very, very close friend. I have seen his journey since 2016 when he left McKinsey and started Bombay Shaving Company. And at that point of time, I was kind of scaling my family business as well.
Right.
And we used to kind of just exchange notes कि यार तूने PhD छोड़ा, मैंने McKinsey छोड़ा, हट गई है, क्या हो रहा है? All of that. And then since then, he's come a long way. And the first angel check which came in GoZero was also from Chantanu, from the barber shop. And today, I think he's also one of the board of directors at GoZero. And I think we just feed off each other's enthusiasm and energy, and the fact that it's from IIM Lucknow just makes it sweeter.
Oh, super nice. Last question. What have Gen Z consumers taught you about marketing and product design?
Yeah, if you bore me in the first 3 seconds,
Right.
then you will bore me forever.
Yeah.
So I think if whether it's the product, whether it's the first moment of truth, whether it's my content, whatever it is, if I'm not able to get their attention in the first 3 seconds,
Right.
whether it's my ad on Blinkit or it's my my reel, I think they will just scroll past. So I think whatever we do, we keep that in mind, that you have to do something which is going to stick, make the person stick for the 4th second onwards.
Yeah, hook rate is the new North Star. Yeah. Right. All right, that's a wrap. It was a pleasure chatting with you, Kiran. Looking forward to seeing GoZero take over the indulgence market in India. Thank you so much for coming and spending time.
Thank you, and hopefully I didn't bore any of you.
Thank you so much.